Hi! Today I share on life from the lens of an orphan. I am Theodora and I talk about personal development in all dimensions, among which I talk about grief support. So let's get right on. I became an orphan at the age of 8 and I share some of the lessons that I learned along the way. Being an orphan as a child was tough. Being an orphan is tough, whether you experienced it as a child or as an adult. And I must say that having walked through, having lived the life of an orphan from the age of 8 up to now as an adult, I could say that it has been a tough journey. I experienced so many things. I experienced multidimensional rejection. I experienced lacking the security that you would receive from a father because I lost my dad. I struggled bottling up emotions, not knowing who and how to share with the several things that I was going through as a child and as an adult. I experienced life living in several homes, not by choice but in search of survival. And just as you're learning how to bond into a family, for whatever reason something just comes up or what, and then you have to leave because of a rumor or because of a false accusation, and then you have to move on to the next family. And then I also had to deal with toxic people in my life at various levels, some reminding me of how I am an orphan and then I'll not amount to anything, and then others emotional abuse, physical abuse. And yes, that was my life as an orphan, or has been my life as an orphan, but I walked through and took healing. So let me share some of the things that other orphans may experience, apart from the few that I have listed in my own life. As an orphan, there are high possibilities that you may have to be raised by an extended family in the event that one of your parents passes on. Maybe your surviving parent has to go and fend for you, so you will have to live with an extended family to keep you as they try to seek for provisions. You also have a higher chance of being homeless. For instance, you could be rejected and then you don't have where to live. And then you may have to raise yourself, or you may have to struggle and find ways of surviving because you do not have where to stay. You may battle with loneliness, with no love. For instance, if you have a surviving parent, they will be preoccupied with seeing that they meet your physical needs, or at least meet your basic needs. Or you may have a parent, another surviving parent, who is also broken and does not know how to deal with themselves. So in one way or the other, they become emotionally unavailable unintentionally. So you end up struggling or surviving through life in loneliness and lack of love. And when you lose all your parents, you learn to live without parental love. You may also go through phases of either physical harm from others or yourself, when life becomes so hard and you just feel like ending it all. You may experience some of those episodes, or you may experience abuse from others. Physically, they will abuse you. Or I could say that you may experience different forms of abuse as an orphan because you lack the security or protection of your parents. So you may be abused in different ways. Or you may also adapt to certain behavioral patterns, those that you adopt, like if you have lived in different homes or different places, you may end up adapting certain behavioral patterns that you picked along the way in the different places that you lived in, or some of the behavioral patterns that you took in as a survival mechanism, as a defense mechanism. Some orphans have a challenge of expressing themselves because they never had the opportunity to express or share whatever they had. Everything else was bottled in because you never had the opportunity to talk about things. You even don't know how to share things. And you may also struggle with trust issues, because you grew up relying so much on yourself, and also as life has been brutal in one way or the other, you just do not know who is going to be harming you anytime, or where is harm coming from, or where is danger coming from. So you have trust issues. And then you may also find yourself in the crossfire between your parents' surviving partners. You may find yourself in the event that your parent passes on. It could be a mother, could be a father, and then you get to know that they had maybe another partner, and they could be the closest person you have to a relative. And then they'll be filled with so much rage and feeling a lot of betrayal, and you'll be a constant reminder to them of the kind of pain caused by your dead parent. And they will mistreat you innocently. I could say that you are innocent, but to them you are a source of pain. So, and then you could experience other things on top of maybe physical abuse. They could starve you, they could take away some of your privileges, they could also chase you away, and then you become homeless. Any other orphan struggle with is carrying the black sheep label. Whatever happens, you're either accused, whatever goes wrong, it is you who has caused it. So many orphans also walk with that in their journey of life. For the category of orphans from secret affairs, or like relationships that other people call maybe side chick, those children really struggle, because in the event that mother passes on, it leaves them in a place of vulnerability, because if they are taken to their father's place, they could be denied because the father wants to save his already stable marriage. Or in some cases, no one even knows who the father of the child is. So the child grows up without an identity, without a sense of knowing their roots, and that child ends up being like the source of labor in whichever family that child will end up in. So I think it would be a nice thing. It's not from a point of judgment, because some find themselves in these relationships not by choice, under circumstances. But it's good to reflect that in the event that you pass on, if you have an offspring, the child is going to experience so much torture, so much pain. So it is better that you find a way of giving that child stability. As an orphan myself, we grow through life with several wounds. Some of them you do not know you have healed until you are placed in a situation that brings up that wound, that you think that, oh, I thought this had already healed, or I thought I didn't have this in me. For instance, you could think you're a very peaceful person, and then there is this situation that comes out, and from nowhere you lash out with a lot of rage, with a lot of anger that even surprises you. Or there are some things that you walk with in life and you say that this is just me, this is part of who I am. But I don't think that is part of who you are. It is true, we have walked through fire, we have walked through things that maybe today we wouldn't be here, but somehow God has sustained us and we are still alive. What I can suggest to other orphans around the world, please undertake a healing journey. Walk through a healing journey to heal those wounds that you think are part of who you are. Or because you walk through pain, you're so used to pain that pain has become part of who you are, that even when something good comes, you shut it down. Or even when you're experiencing something beautiful, you're like, what is this? You do not know how to respond towards it. Please undertake the healing journey. Go see a therapist to help you unearth some of those things that were hidden and buried, because in one way or the other, they will catch up. they will open up, and they will open up in the times that you least expect them, and then they will break you down the more. It is better to seek therapy, to seek healing, and it is possible to live a beautiful life. I know many of us, like I myself, sometimes I used to use pain as a motivation. It's a good thing. Many people say, like, yes, pain is a good motivation. It pushes you forward. But pain also shuts down certain parts of you, even if you use it as motivation. It should be motivation from a point where you are objective. Not using pain from a point of anger, from a point of wanting to prove someone, like, I will do it, doing things to try to prove that you can survive for the sake of someone else. Like, they thought I wouldn't make it, let me show them that I'll do it. If you want to progress in life, if you want to use your situation as a point of growth, let it be from within. As I don't know how to explain it, but let it be that you're using it to better yourself and not to prove a point to someone else. I don't know if it makes sense. So please undertake the healing journey. Thank you so much for joining me today.